Jessica Lange, at the Emmys last year, you pulled off a jaw dropper. Just when everyone thought Cicely Tyson had it in the bag, you pulled off a sneaky upset. How did you do it?
Well, I mean, I think I was probably more surprised than anybody. I mean, you know, you hear so-and-so it's a shoo-in, they're going to win, and you just kind of go because obviously it's a wonderful, you know, moment just to be there. But I was completely 100% surprised because you all talked about it was like a done deal. You know, when you read that or hear that, you tend to believe it. So yeah, it was wonderful though. I mean,
but think about this, Jessica. You're an Oscar veteran, of course, two-time winner. Cicely was in The Trip to Bountiful, which of course won an Oscar for Geraldine Page. So it was an Oscar caliber role.
I was against Geraldine that year, and I knew she was going to win because who wouldn't win for that, of course. But yes. I remember that.
And then you also know, because you're a veteran of this field, that you don't tend to win for horror stuff, right? In general, these peer group Hollywood awards don't like the genre, but you defied that as well. That's why we were so wrong. We're happy to be wrong, but we were wrong.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, it was great. I mean, you know, the thing is with Brian Murphy, he always gives you an amazing scope to deal with, and I've been so lucky these last 4 years because I've had 4 amazing characters to play. And when I think of the characters and not the genre or not what all the rest of it is, but just concentrate on like character and what I've been able to do, I mean, yeah, they're all tremendous parts. So in that way, you know, they deserve to be recognized too.
Marcus?
And, you know, one of the people you actually beat last year was your co-star and your friend Sarah Paulson, because she was in the lead category for Coven. What was it like? What's your relationship like with Sarah? You guys are like, you've worked together forever and ever and ever now, haven't you?
Well, I love Sarah. I mean, we worked together for the first time on stage, which is always kind of friendship by fire. I mean, if you can make it through a 16-week run, in a play with somebody, you know that they're solid and they've got your back and you've got theirs, and it's, you know, it gives a foundation to something. And then we've had, you know, 4 seasons to play opposite each other in this show. So she's an amazing actress, a wonderful actress, and always a joy to work with.
Marcus has a theory, Jessica, that if she wins, if Sarah wins, she'll be in supporting this year, by the way. If she wins, she should get 2 Emmys for playing 2 heads.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a real feat that she pulled off this year. Absolutely, playing 2 characters.
Was it hard to play against? Because didn't you have to kind of... We talked to Michael Chiklis the other day, and he said it was very hard to do.
It was impossible for me. First of all, because I'm dyslexic, so she would have to like coverage, and I was playing opposite her, and she was doing both voices, or some dialect coach was doing one of the voices and she was doing the other. It was like so confusing to me that she would actually have to do like point to the character so I knew what I was talking to. I was forever confused.
Now you've said, go ahead, Marcus.
Do you have any advice if Sarah were to win her first Emmy? What should she do at the podium? What should she not do? You've been there.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yes, you do. You've won 2 Oscars, 3 Golden Globes, 3 Emmys. What's the key to it? You know, you give very good acceptance speeches. What's the key to
Golden Globes? What is the what?
What's the key to a successful acceptance speech?
I think you should keep it short. You should keep it simple. You know, I mean, I never invoke God or my mother or you know, I try to not keep it and not to make it too personal, because I think what you want to do is you want to make it possible. I don't have any life lessons to give. I never thank my team. I always feel when I hear actors say that, I want to thank my team. I always think they're going to be talking about like the 49ers or the New York Giants or something. I'm always waiting to hear like who won the Super Bowl. But yeah, that's it. It's simple. Just say thank you. It's very simple. Thank you to the people who made it possible.
Marcus?
Yeah, we have a great fan question. I have a great fan question from Misty. She wants to know, of the 4 characters you played on American Horror Story, all of them kind of have a darkness to them. Some of them are more evil than others. But did you ever want to play a character that was 100% good and pure, or is that too boring in a way?
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, you could get, I mean, there's nobody in this universe that's 100% pure. So you can always find the dark side, even with, like, you know, with somebody who appears to be, you know, pure and good and filled with human kindness. I think you can always find the dark side. The dark side, I think, is what's interesting. The shadow side, like you talked about.
And you mentioned that Elsa Mars is your favorite character. What is it about Elsa that you liked so much?
Well, first of all, I loved this season. It was my favorite because it really was like a troupe of misfits. We were like a caravan of gypsies. It felt that way when we were shooting it. And there was a wonderful kind of, you know, a freakishness about it, that every one of these characters, and Elsa as much as any of the others, you know, there was that thing of those secrets that you held, and those things that were hidden, that you were hiding. And it's always wonderful to play a character like that you're hiding something, or that you have a history, that you have secrets that you are not revealing, because it lends textures and layers to the character. You know, it was great. I mean, we really were like a troupe of misfits. And it felt that way while we were shooting, and it felt that way while we weren't shooting. So there was a wonderful kind of sense of synchronicity to the whole thing. And I loved the people that came in to shoot with us this year. I mean, it was a joy and a blessing to be around them. And the character was huge. I mean, there wasn't anything that I didn't do this year, you know? I mean, Brian is brilliant in that way. I mean, he gave me everything and more. I mean, I was performing David Bowie. I mean, it was nuts.
That's my favorite scene, by the way, when you're singing Life on Mars. My favorite scene from the show.
I mean, when I first saw it, I thought, I can't do this. I mean, I'm not a singer. I'm not a performer. Walk out on stage and do Life on Mars in a blue suit. I mean, but it was great. It was great because it pushed all my buttons, and it, you know, I mean, the wonderful thing after being in this business, which I will be next year, 40 years, is that you can take territory that you haven't investigated yet. For giving me that opportunity to do that.
Years ago, Jessica, when you were up for Grey Gardens, I interviewed you, and you said in our conversation that when you look over your career, when people do From a Distance someday, you said they will likely remember me most for Tootsie. And I thought that was an interesting comment. Now that you've had this enormous success over 4 seasons of American Horror Story, do you think, because, you know, especially because with Netflix and all these shows now, this American Horror Story is going to be watched by binge watchers over and over and over again forever. It's not like TV used to be where you would run something and then it's forgotten. Do you think it's possible that American Horror Story takes the lead in your career as the thing that defines you as an actress?
Certainly with a certain generation, yes. I mean, I've noticed that. I mean, I'm amazed at, like, the people who come up to me now on the street and who approach me and who are obviously rabid fans are teenagers or people in their young 20s. I mean, it is kind of startling for me, but They are, so, and I guess in another sense, it's the the power of television, that kind of accessibility, where it's different from film, where you buy a ticket, you go to a theater, you sit down, you watch this character on screen. The fact that you are kind of on demand whenever they want you in their living room. There's a certain, I think, familiarity that they feel, and also a connectedness. And I've noticed that now with the people who approach me. And what else is very surprising to me is how emotional it is for them. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, your characters are that complex.
Another generation who didn't know me before, but now who associate me with these four characters.
Marcus,
but that's not a bad thing, because these characters have been great.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
My favorite is Asylum, of the four. My pecking order is Asylum, then Freak Show, then Murder House, then Coven. And I have a problem with Coven, and I've told Ryan Murphy this, and that is I was waiting for you gals to fight more. For example, if you remember the scene where finally when Fiona and the young witches face off and they're about to go at it, and I thought, oh, good, and all hell's going to break loose, literally. Then a witch hunter arrives at the door, and I went, no, that's a missed opportunity for a real smackdown. And Ryan said, you know what, you're right.
Yeah, no, I think probably my order is similar to that. Yeah.
Marcus, I'm going to give you the last question.
Ooh, one more question. Let me think of a good one. Jessica, what will you miss most about American Horror Story, this huge juggernaut? If you could maybe pick one or two things, what will you miss the most about the franchise?
Well, I think, having the opportunity to play a character who is so... I mean, what has been tremendous about this experience is that I've been given the opportunity to play these characters who are so borderline mad and with these kind of huge emotional lives and these huge emotional shifts. And I mean, to go from, playing flashbacks of the Weimar Republic and having your legs amputated in a snuff film, and I mean, there are big movements in this, and that has been my favorite part of it, So I will miss that, and I will miss the camaraderie that you naturally have when you work in a repertory company. Working with the same actors for 4 years, knowing their rhythms, knowing they know yours. There's something wonderful about that, too. So, yeah, there's a lot that I'm going to miss about it.
Well, Ryan is very loyal to his star, so I have a hunch that you'll be teaming up with him again and maybe a few of the others. Jessica, good luck at the Emmys. Thank you for chatting with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Bye-bye.
Bye.